That was the first one. Aloha everybody, Sean at Aloha Pigeons, and today will be the first race for the 2018 Youngbird season here in the state of Hawaii. It's actually September 1st and our first race was supposed to be last weekend. However, we had a hurricane that came through the state of Hawaii last weekend, so that race got canceled. So today will be the first race from the island of Maui to the island of Oahu, and we have 8 birds entered in that race, so I hope they really do well. They're released at 9 o'clock in the morning and it's about 10 o'clock now, so they should be halfway on their way back from the island of Maui, or at least that's what I hope. So this is the race they're going to be on today. They're flying to the island of Oahu where my cursor is here, and they were released on the island of Maui right here. So I'll show you the distance from the release point to my loft, and then their release in Kahului, Maui, which is right here. So you can see it's almost 103 miles straight line distance. And here you can see what the current weather actually looks like for the route they're taking from the island of Maui to the island of Oahu. And the wind is only 9 knots where they were released today, and then they probably came around the north side at 12 knots. This is really light winds for the state of Hawaii, so this is good. This should really help them make that crossing across these channels. 11 knots, and if they stayed along the north side of Molokai, 13 knots. And then when they got to the northwest tip of Molokai, it increased to about 16 knots right now. But that's good. Normally when they cross this channel, the wind in the channel is about 30 knots. So you can see it's about half that today. So really light winds. If they average about 50 miles per hour, they'll be here around 11 o'clock. Wish me luck, everybody. That was the first one. What time is it now? I gotta get my phone. It's 11:26. So I was hoping for around 11. So I don't know, that's close. At least I have one to race with next race, next weekend. Let me show you why I think that one young bird actually came back. So that young bird's actually a cock, and it paired up with one of the old birds. You can see him right here in the box with the old bird, so I think that definitely gave him some motivation to return home. Alright, I got some race results to share with you. So it's actually a few days after the race. I wanted to give a few extra days just because I actually didn't have the greatest returns from this Maui race. I sent 8 birds, and unfortunately we only have 2 that returned. And those 2 actually returned the first day. Now, I was only able to turn in the times on 1 bird because the second bird landed so much later in the day. I already turned in the clock. But as far as that first bird that we did get back, I do have some race results for that bird. For our club, we had 7 lofts participating and 145 birds were sent. And unfortunately, that bird didn't do as well as I thought it did. It got 44th position out of those 145 birds. And even worse is the entire island of Oahu, our combine, which was 36 lofts participating and 901 birds were sent. Our bird only got 173rd position, which is just above the 20th percentile. But again, that's only 1 bird out of all the birds I had this 2018 young bird season. So it is kind of depressing, unfortunately. I can't say that my progression in the sport has shown much positives. This is my 3rd year in the young bird season. It seems like each year I'm getting worse, unfortunately. However, I do feel like the knowledge that I gain each year builds. So, I don't know, there's something to that, I guess. I put a lot of effort into this year, actually, which makes it even more depressing. I built that stock loft, which, was hopefully going to keep the stock birds in better health. I extended the flying loft, which was also going to hopefully help me. I was able to start the season with more birds. that didn't happen because of the mistakes I've made in training. The first off-island training toss in Molokai, I lost most of my birds then. So, maybe I wasn't able to tell the real condition of the birds on the first race just because I only sent 8. So, unfortunately, that didn't go so well. One reason why these 2 birds may have come back is actually these are 2 cocks that made it back, and they're paired up with 2 of my old hens that I have in the flying loft with them. And actually, the first bird that returned for us, he's actually sitting on 2 eggs with his hen right now. So, they definitely maybe had a little bit more motivation to come back, which was interesting. And the next race is actually this weekend, and again, it's from the island of Maui. And since these birds came back, I'm just gonna take a risk and put 2 Sky Leader GPS bands, if I'm allowed to, on these birds this next race. And hopefully they'll make it back again. I don't have much high hopes that they're going to do very well in time, but hopefully they make it back, and we'll be able to download the data, because I am fairly interested in seeing what route these birds take on a race from Maui to Oahu. So if you're not subscribed already, make sure you subscribe to get updates on the next race this weekend from the island of Maui. This is Sean at Aloha Pigeons. Aloha, everybody.